Hello and welcome to my Sopwith cut quarter scale Balsa USA kit build. As you can see, I've already laid the plans out on the building board and covered with clear plastic to prevent any glue seeping from the wooden joints, sticking to the plan and wrecking the plans and causing other problems later on. As we go through the build, I'm hoping to give you a full video diary of the progress of the model, hopefully to completion. Hope you enjoy. Carry on watching. Thank you. Right, welcome back. We've got our little booklet here with instructions, and as I mentioned in the previous bit of video, we're going to start with our stabiliser. And the first thing I need to do is I've got my box of bits there, and I need to select the wood that I need to start building the stabiliser section. So what I've pre-done prior to turn on the video, I need to have one central block of balsa for the centre section of the stabiliser. This will be used to connect the stabiliser to the fuselage when it's completed. I also have several pieces of 3/8 times a quarter hardish balsa, and also 2 pieces of 1/4 times 3/8 for the ribs that go in the middle of the stabiliser. And the actual diagonals, there will be some 1/16 square which will be braced up on scrap pieces of 332 balsa. The next job for me to do, according to the instructions, is to laminate both the trailing and the leading edge areas out of 2 pieces of 1/4 times 3/8. So that's what I'm intending to do now. Right, here we are. I've got my 2 bits of 1/4 by 3/8, and we need to laminate these. What I like to use is aliphatic glue. This is very good resin, it has very good grab properties, and basically all I do is I squeeze a small amount all the way down the centre of one of the balsa rods, and then with my finger just gradually rub that to level it out over the balsa. Once that's done, just quickly get a cloth, wipe my finger, keep the mess down to a minimum, and then what I do is offer up the other one on top like so, and then turn it on its side, and then with these handy little clamps just go along, pushing them together, clamping the 2 pieces together. This glue takes about 10 minutes to form a reasonable bond, but it's best to leave it a good half an hour or so before you start trying to play around with it to do other work on it. Once I've done that, I just then get a couple of pins, and somewhere where it isn't going to matter too much on the plan, I just like to get a pin and just gently tack it to the table to make sure that everything stays nice and square, so we don't encounter problems later. So I'll just finish doing this and make sure we've got it all nicely foamed, tacked down, and we'll put a couple in on the other piece of the balsa as well, and then once that's done, that can just sit there and rest and dry. The process will be carried out exactly with the other 2 bits of balsa which I need to do for the other edge of the stabiliser, but I'm sure you don't want to watch all that process again. I just check before I do leave this, just to make sure that any glue that has protruded out is wiped off, because it helps with the sanding processes later on if we can get a shot of that now. Right, there we go. So that's the end of that. So I'll complete the process exactly the same for the other one, and when you come back we'll see about pinning them on the board and cutting the ribs that go in between. Right, back we are again. As you can see, the laminated pieces of balsa strip have been drying, and while you've been away I've just reduced the size of the leading edge one because it's quite a bit longer than it needs to be, so it just makes it easier for going on the plan. Also the trailing edge strip, I've also made sure that fits exactly, so when I do the sides I haven't got to worry about putting a knife through and then running into the plan, because I want to try and keep the plan as pristine as possible. The other thing I've done is to cut the ribs from 1/4 times 3/8, 6 of them that run through there, and also as mentioned before, we've got our centre section which is obviously going to be put in place to fix the stabiliser to the actual fuselage. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to place these in place and just generally do a dry fit, being careful to make sure everything lines up nice and centrally on the plan, and just put a tack in there to hold the trailing edge in, and a tack down here to hold the trailing edge in as well. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run along and place my ribs in place, making sure that they fit nice and firmly. We want a firm fit, so when the glue, it makes a nice secure joint, and just carry on going through like that, and just making sure everything sits nice and squarely on the plan. Once this has been done, what I will do, I will take this all apart again and apply the glue, and then put it all back into place, and then that will be left to dry, and I will not touch this now until it's fully cured, and then we can add some of the diagonal braces and the edges of the stabiliser. Okay, so while I get on and glue this, I'll go give you a chance to go and do what you want to do, and we'll catch up with you later. Right, as you can see now I've done all the gluing. Just a little tip, I'm not trying to show people how to do things, it's just the way I build. But after you've done your gluing, you'll probably find that you've got a little bit of glue as you push joint into the joints. There's a little bit of glue that is sitting on the base of the plan. You could wait until you lift it off the plan and just get a scalpel and run it out. But what I like to do is I take a bit of this is just a stick that they use for stirring coffee. And what I do is just take a little edge on it, and then I just go down the side, run off, and then lift any excess glue, wipe it on a cloth, as you can see, and it makes a nice tidy job. It saves a lot of mucking around once you've lifted the bit off the board, playing around with scalpels. It's just as easy to do with this now. It makes for a nice neat job, and there you go. So that's it for me for now. So all I will do tonight now is basically I will leave these two bits here because they're needed for our diagonals. I will just roll this plan up nice and tidy like that. Pull this over the top, as I say, put my plans there, underneath there, and that's the job. The only thing left for me to do is I like to have a good clear up after I've done a session, make sure everything's nice and tidy for when I come down next time. So that's what I'll get on and do now. So next time we'll concentrate on putting the diagonals in, and obviously the sides, and then that's our stabiliser basically completed prior to the sanding works and the shaping we're going to have to do on the leading edge tips. Okay, right, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying it. Bye bye.